everybody doing? Hopefully we're doing good. Mike's not all. What's going on? Looks like it's all over the place. Technical difficulty. Take a peek at that, because hey, you're getting about every third word. Noise gate. I'm going to turn the close threshold. Or is my mic? Hold on. Guys, give me an audio check out there. Mic is not picking up. Oh, and of course it had to do that just as we were coming on, so. Hello. 5 so far. Alright, for some reason it's looking on my end like it's picking up a word, so hopefully it's not, but. Who do we all got in the house tonight? Looks like what's that? So far we got Deckard and Dick and or Grotness, good to see you. Tiana, night. Ashley is, of course, my favorite lurker. Dixie Doodle, good evening. How are you? Randy says, sounding fine. Tiana, good. Let's see. What else we got out? Got a few watchers on. One over on YouTube. So, yeah, so we had a fun show Friday night. It was great talking with looked like everybody was having fun. And we might bring some folks. Other folks that met along the way. Dixie Doodle, you finally found me on YouTube. Well, that's good. Knew I was there. I was just lost. So tonight is kind of going to be a little bit of a BS session, and moved the mic again. I hope you guys are saying. Not looking like it. Anyway, one of the topics that Scott and I got Rusty was inflation rate. You see what the settings are. Stereo settings, see if it works any better. Still dropping in and out or losing it? Huh. That's great. Oh, Dixie. I mean, you shouldn't be embarrassed at all. It was fine. Let me, I'm going to jump into the settings on my, figure out what's going on. Well, I can make it to where it's constantly live. in love with that. Okay, so it's the noise gate that we're having problems with, so give me just a second here. Gonna go in and reset the noise gate. See if we can make it any better. How are we doing now? Is it picking up over and over again? Looks like it's working a little better. Let me know if the mic starts to drop in and out again. Hell, now my internet's dropping in and out, so what the hell. Anyway. Yeah, no, Dixie, that ain't anything to be embarrassed about. That was actually a fun time. I appreciate you calling in. But yeah, we were talking about inflation and what it usually means when inflation gets awfully close to 10%. It's usually followed by a war. Seems to be working now. All right. Smokey Randy, you're down in Australia. You say, well, shit has hit the fan here. All the tards have stripped all the shelves bare. Oh, good. I warned everyone to stock up months ago. No one listened. Yeah, I hear you there. And I'm afraid that's going to happen here. That's why I know it seems like I'm pounding this and beating it into a pulp, but I'm doing that for a reason. I think the same thing. I think the same thing is going to happen here. Just not a good feeling, I guess. But yeah, inflation's at 10%, so it's at just over 7% right now. And any other time in history, or most times in history, when it gets close to 10%, that's also when we go into a major conflict. Not that, war and economy has anything to do with each other. Of course not. I'm not saying that. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's a little spooky right now. And you can see things are starting to build up on both fronts. I took a look at, because we were talking about, cutting up our own pork loin and how to package it, get it ready for you. And of course, my video file decided to corrupt and it was all gone. But I took a look at pork futures today, and yeah, box pork futures are pushing. Looks like there's talks right now about them being close to $5 a pound. Now, you have to put that into context. That's boxed pork. That means what's called primal cuts. Okay, and that's meat that's not broke down yet for you to be able to just throw on the grill. KFC has shut most of the stores because they can't get chicken. And the fatties are all screaming. Yeah, when you're looking at $5 for boxed pork, then you have to pay a butcher, either in a grocery store or, a butcher shop, his time and energy and knowledge into going in and making that primal cut into something that's desirable for the average consumer. So now you're looking at, $7 or $8 a pound pork chops. So yeah, keep that in mind. So Tiana, you ended up finding some hash browns, so that's good. You got some from Walmart and Costco, looks like. You need hash browns every day and still have them for a year. Well, that's good. Well, and those hash browns that you picked up are kind of good to use in a lot of different scenarios, not just mixing them up and browning them on the griddle. But, if you decide to do like a potato casserole or something like that, a lot of times you can cheat and use those hash browns in there. The hash browns that she's speaking of are the dehydrated, easy to store. They come in a overgrown milk carton, basically, and easy to keep on the shelf. Yeah, Smokey, hash browns are, well, I don't know. I gotta... Gotta argue a little bit. I hated making hash browns. Because you gotta boil the potatoes first, and then you can, you know, run them through a grater. Otherwise, they never get crunchy. They're kind of a chewy mess then. But, yeah, it's pretty spooky, how things disappear quickly in the, especially in the grocery market. You gotta remember, most grocery stores are living on a 3-day supply, so trucks rolling and stuff like that is extremely important. But anyway, so I took a look at the pork futures market and kind of went, well, that's a problem. So I'm going to be picking up a few more pork lines while they're still... I think right now my local Sam's Club has them for $1.88 a pound. So I'll be grabbing a few of those and getting them cut up and in the freezer. And hopefully we can make another video that doesn't decide to, you know, turn to shit. And show you guys how to break them down and get a few different cuts out of them if you want. And of course, you know, we might have a pork loin or two recipe. You gotta put them in ice water before grating them. Alright, I'll have to try that. Yeah, there's, you know, the scarcities come and go here quite often. There, the good news is in our area, there's enough producers that if the one that doesn't normally have it is out, or normally has it is out, they can switch to a different producer. But when's the last time you can remember, other than recently, that you go to the grocery store and something is actually out? I mean, there is none. And they tell you, oh, the truck's coming in a couple of weeks. I'll check that recipe out. But the other thing I was looking at is one of our own Sergeant Bob said he was paying $12 a pound for bacon. And I about fell over. I haven't bought bacon in a while, so I was a little shocked. But after reading that, I kind of went to work in my own butchering ways and got thinking, and we used to make something in the meat department called cottage bacon. And believe it or not, it's actually more expensive to buy over the counter and cheaper, way, way, way cheaper to make than dealing with pork belly. And all it is the front shoulder roast. So basically the picnic ham is what it used to be called, but it's the front shoulder roast of the pork. You wonder if Krusty ever bought a pie iron? I don't know. I know, well, you and I talked. I have a few. But, nope. Looks like the folks over on Foxhole got the circle of death. What's going on? Oh, now we're back, it looks like. Well. Give me just a second, folks. Gotta include the Foxhole folks. I mean, come on, it is 1 year anniversary for them, so I'm gonna shut them down. And I'm gonna restart them and see if we can get back on there. Bear with me, folks. We're just gonna try to fix this quick. Yeah. Hey, pickled pork's not bad. Don't be picking on that. Hey, Daly, how's it going? How's UC doing? We'll tell Ed hi, and his wife is just fine. That was. It was great, actually. There, I think we got Foxhole fixed now. Let's see if we can get folks back in. But yeah, we're gonna be. I'm gonna be picking up a few of those pork shoulder roasts also, and I think we're gonna give it a try making us a little cottage bacon here at home. Fire up the smoker and have a little fun. Duppy, good to see you here, bud. It's been fun talking to you. You're awfully intelligent feller. For those of you that remember over on DLive, Duppy, Montana, he's navigated over to Foxhole. He's cheating over there. Actually, to be honest with you guys, Foxhole has become, well, it is what it is, but Foxhole has actually become one of my favorite homes. And may become the main channel here soon. We'll see. But Deplorable D. Oh yeah, Uncle Krusty. Uncle Krusty is he's doing some, he's doing some work on the background, and I'm thinking, I haven't talked to him yet today, but I'm thinking he was going to be on tonight. Well, I don't know for sure, but Daly would be able to answer that one for us, and I like I said, I haven't had a chance to talk with him today, so. But he should be back, I'm guessing. But I was going to take a look, part-time slack. I was going to take a look over at Sam's Club and see just what pork shoulder roasts are selling for. That's also, for those of you that like a pork steak instead of a pork chop, that's where that comes from, is that pork shoulder roast section. Or cattle, it's called the 7-bone. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of lingo there. Yeah, I didn't think he had Foxhole up yet, but I might have a plan for that. I might be able to, may be able to help him out in a weird way, Daily. But I wanted to talk to him a little bit, so this show's not going to be super long, and I'll be shutting down. But yeah, I may have an idea. We'll see. Yeah, I can understand. Pork roast, sauerkraut, and dumplings. Oh, that sounds good. So yeah, currently right now, and of course it says due to high demand, this item may be unavailable at time to time. Well, that's pretty bad when they put it right on their website, isn't it? But yeah, pork shoulder roast, or otherwise known as the Boston butt roast. It's currently selling at $1.62 a pound. So if we can figure out how to put a little smoke to that thing, a little sugar and salt, and sugar and spice and everything nice, I'm betting we can get a pretty good tasting bacon out of that. I know I used to be able to. It's been a while, but and the funny part is, it's a much, if you ever looked at like a Boston butt or a pork shoulder, it's a wider piece of meat, so it kind of gives you that. It kind of gives you that bit of bacon-esque chew to it, but way less fat, all the flavor, and you only need like 1 or 2 slabs for a BLT instead of a bunch of little freaking slices of bacon. So we might get into that one here in the very near future. I'm going to make a protein run to the big box stores here and try to gather some up again before everything turns to shit. And by shit, I mean prices going through the roof, because telling you folks, it can't stay where it's at. It just, the input cost for these farmers and ranchers is going through the roof. I mean, if you really want to look up something, look up last year's price on Roundup, you know, the stuff that's horrible for you and gonna kill you someday. But look up last year's prices on Roundup and look at this year's prices if you want to see some hellacious inflation. Yeah, I know input costs have almost doubled for most of the farmers and ranchers around here. And you got a few things going against you. Well, massive drought out here in the West last year. Fuel prices going through the roof. Petroleum prices going through the roof. Us not being able to make our own oil. And then, of course, you have a lack of workers. So, I got a lot of farmers and ranchers out here that are looking for good hired hands, and they just can't find them. Hey, AG, how's it going? Before you take off, sir, how's your, well, I'll send you a message in Discord. Just want to check in with you and see how everything's going. Deplorable D, that's right. Let's go, Brandon. That's for sure. But yeah, they're looking to make it harder for you. That's for sure. But we're not going to let them. That's what our job is. So yeah. But getting harder and harder. And actually, Duppy, you and I need to talk here sometime after the show. I want to pick your brain a little bit about the oil industry. Get a first-hand perspective. Pork neck? Well, pork really don't have much of a neck, but that's what a lot of that Boston butt pork shoulder comes from. It's kind of all mixed in there. Quite has so many different directions of meat in it. Actually, I'll see if I can look up. See if I can get you guys a decent picture here. Give me just a second here. There we go. This is a pretty good explanation. As my internet speed bounces all over the place, so if I get choppy, sorry guys. So the Boston butt is located right here. You can tell on this hog, there's not much of a neck on a hog. So you can pull some pork jowls off down here if it's a federal kill. A lot of times when a butcher does these, local butcher, they're shooting them with a rifle, so none of the head meat is used. But Boston butts right here, picnic shoulder, otherwise known as the picnic ham, spare ribs, pork loin, back fat. So yeah, the pork loin that we were cutting up, that back fat is probably fairly accurate. There's a fair amount of back fat on, so you get rid of all of this top half here. And yeah. And then of course the bacon section, which a very, very good butcher is needed to not screw this up. But there you go. There is your explanation of where the Boston butt comes from. Yeah. I think we're going to have to start experimenting a little bit with how to make some of that stuff that we enjoy so much here at home, instead of relying on running to the grocery store. Which, I don't know how many folks out there have smokers and all that kind of stuff. Your butcher gives you pig head for free. There you go. Sounds like Dixie's not too impressed with the Gulf, but... Oh. But yeah, the other thing we're going to look at tonight is... You know, I keep telling you guys to try to get prepared. And one of the odd categories I threw out the other night was storage. So we're going to look at a couple of options tonight that I've found that are a little less expensive than some of the other big box stores, which you pick up there. And, yeah. Just have a little fun. Got a tower smoker. Oh. Dough smoker. I don't know if that counts, but you could try it. It might be a cold smoke. But, yeah. No, you need to get yourself a smoker if you haven't. And you can go as inexpensive as you'd like, all the way up to, you know, I have a electric smoker with all the doodads and gizmos and gadgets, and meh. I'm beginning to wonder if I really need it at all, but hey, it does a good job, so I guess it works. Yeah, I would suggest getting your hands on a smoker or build one. They're pretty easy to build. Of course, the homemade ones or the built ones need a little more finessing or fussing around with. You know, they're much more manual than some of the fancier ones, but they still work just the same. Yeah, they do a pretty fine job. Yeah, we're gonna do a little smoking. We're gonna cut up some breakfast chops so you guys know what those are. Have a little fun. But yeah, I don't know, oddball stuff coming up in the real near future, because I got to get my own stuff ready. So what the heck, you might as well tag along and do it with me. A Weber kettle, that works good. So off to some of the oddball options that we have out there. Some of the less known places to pick up some of your preps. What my thoughts were. So we'll see. So the first one we're going to look at is the cabinets these are over at Sam's Club. So the cabinet that I'll load it up here. The cabinet that I have for my boomstick collection, let's say, is this one right here. For $219, I couldn't really beat it. It's a roller cabinet. And if you look inside, I'm trying to see if they give you a good inside picture. They don't. Well, maybe we can look at this. So where these pieces come together right here, there's a pretty good ridge inside that makes it really conducive to be able to put a bracketry system inside of there for ease anyway. And the other nice part about that is you don't have to worry about leveling and squaring and all that kind of stuff. It pretty much does it for you. But what I did was took out all of the lower shelves down here and made a little gun rack around the inside over here. Kept the shelf up top so I can keep my ammunition, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's roller, you know, you can roll it around. You got neighbors coming over, something like that. You don't necessarily want it in the main room. You can roll it into a spare room and keep it out of sight. Like I said, I'm not concerned with fire. Gun safes are not exactly the best for fire. Although they have a fire rating, it really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, so $219, you can pick one of these up. I also have another one coming that I'm going to put coat racks inside, or coat hooks, and hang all my get home bags and my first aid kits inside. So you can open up the doors, look in there, everything is stood up on end, easy to see. But, yeah. And then, of course, if you have a little bit larger collection and you don't want to have the capability of rolling it around, you want to keep everything in a spare room, these are huge. This is a 60 by 72, so 5 foot this way, 6 foot tall, 24 inches deep. Huge, huge, huge storage area. For any of your quote-unquote camping supplies that you want to put away. And you notice it does have a center support. You could very easily make one side a boomstick closet and the other side a, you know, your go bags. It's just you. But all steel construction, $419. It's really hard to beat. If you look at any of these at any of the other locations like Home Depot or Lowe's or any of those, they're usually about twice as much. And I guess while we're in here, I can show you my bench that I bought for reloading. But yeah, as far as cabinets, it's industrial style cabinets. It's hard to beat. Mac Druid over on DLive says that Tractor Supply's good for many items also. Yeah, that's true. We're going to take a peek at them here shortly. Yeah, they have a ton of options. I actually have a couple of other cabinets here. Yeah, let's see. I think it's this one right here. No, it's not that one. I wonder if they're out of stock. Yeah, I know quite a few guys that have made reloading benches out of these little buggers right here. If you want a small reloading bench just to tuck away, these work well. Lockable wheels. That hard top comes off so you can put your bolts up through to mount your reloading press and all that kind of fun stuff. And they're fairly small. I mean, they're gosh, I want to say they're like 30 by 24. But yeah, now if we want to look at my reloading bench, yeah, let's see if they show it on this page. We may have to do another search. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to run another search here. And these have actually come up a lot in price. I think I picked mine up for like $290. Oh my. I no longer see it on here. I wonder if they can't get them. Yeah, mine's the big brother to these ones here. Actually, that would make a really good reloading bench. $239 and you have all the drawers. So for your dyes and tools and powder and all the fun stuff. But yeah, mine is basically 2.5 of these. So you guys will eventually we'll see a picture of that. The other thing, which my wife and I have fallen in love with lately at Sam's Club, we're picking up a bunch of them, is these goofy 5x7 camp blankets. They're super warm. They're water resistant. They're waterproof. They're weather resistant. So the wind has a heck of a time getting through them. They come with their own stuff sack. And right now, I don't know what's going on at my local Sam's Club, but you might want to check your own. Online it says $29.88. Well, I just picked up 2 of them so far for $19.91. They're clearancing them out. So, and they're a good blanket. My wife has this one, and I have, I think, this one. And they have little thumb holes on them. I'm trying to see if you've got a good picture of one. You can see it right there. When you're holding them at a kind of across your back, you can hook your thumbs in those holes and pull it tight, close it up on you. But for $19.91, you really can't beat a camp blanket. Now, that's if you can get them for $19.91. But even at $30 for a waterproof blanket, it's a hell of a buy. And we throw these, I mean, we have them, hell, in the house for when you're chilly sitting on the couch. I have a few for in the vehicles because, you know, it's wintertime in Montana and you never know when you're going to get stuffed in a ditch somewhere and have to wait for somebody to come tow you out. But again, oddball prep, you know, some way to keep warm. Then you wouldn't think of looking at camping gear at Sam's Club. The generators that Sam's Club offers. I know a lot of folks last year dealt with power outages and got to fight that, which was oh so fun. And yeah, you can pick a generator up for, you know, even like this little dual fuel 3500 watt is, you know, for $370. I don't know how you necessarily beat it. And if I remember correctly, it's a gasoline and propane, so you can run it on either. See if we can get a good look at it here. Yeah, so we've got LP gas alternative, and then a gasoline. And I believe this one is, I think this one does not have a starter on it. It's pull type. But for $370, I mean, you don't have to go to Harbor Freight to get one of their shitty generators. And I'm sorry, I wouldn't put my faith in the Predator generator. I've heard some serious issues with those. Now, one thing about a generator, don't plan on running your entire house unless you go substantially larger. You know, 3500 watt would probably it'd run your refrigerator, your freezer, and maybe a light or two. You know, if they all kicked on at once and drew all at once, that's about what it's going to cover. Now, you get into some of these larger generators down below, you're going to be talking, you know, like this one here is 8,000 watt, 10,000 peak watt. That's the other thing you want to make sure that you're looking at when you're picking out a generator, is when you see that big number in the beginning, 10,000 watt, well, that's 10,000 peak watt. That means at first whack, you have to kind of, you know, it's going to ramp itself up, but it can't run at 10,000 watt constantly. So it's going to bring itself down a little bit, but it can run constant at the 8,000 watt. 8 kilowatt or 8,000 watt would be more than enough to run most folks' home. And there again, $899 for a Generac. That's not bad at all. Sorry, I was just reading a few of the chats over on DLive. I guess it's better with a blanket that has thumb holes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Think about that. You ever get tired of, holding your blanket and it falling off your shoulders and crap? Thumb holes make it all that better. But, all right. So let's see if they offer any other good ones here. And some of these silent generators, the quieter running generators, may be a good idea for you, depending on your location. If you're close to your neighbors, or that's gonna raise a little bit of suspicion if you're the only one that has power and your generator's just howling away. It's gonna give them a little bit of a heads up who's got power and who doesn't. Now this little master plug extension cord, this little thing has come in handy so many times around my house. I do a handyman business for a side job for just a little bit of money, and this thing comes in handy so often, setting up work sites, anything like that. We'll get into the specs here, and it's pretty inexpensive for what it is. This is, I think, I'm trying to remember the gauge on the cord. I want to say it's a 13 gauge cord, yeah. So it's not super heavy duty, but 14 AWG. So. But it'll run, it runs my table saw and my compound miter saw at the same time if I need them to. And never pops the breaker. There is a little safety overload right here. Now, I was at a wedding and we were using this to run a few of those big roaster pans. And we could only run one at a time. It would pop the safety overload on that. But for $32, it's a hell of a buy. If you look at these anywhere else, they're considerably more expensive. And let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, Dixie Doodle, I agree with you. But, when you live up here, you have to think about getting stuffed in the ditch. Never know. Yeah. Looks like they have a few generator options out there. Ones that I would avoid. These Sportsman's ones are not all that great. Now, these Yellow Jacket extension cords, they are outstanding. EMP Shield. Yeah, EMP Shield does an outstanding job. Yeah, isn't it odd that you start looking at Sam's Club and you got a 400-watt wind generator, 30-foot tower kit for the generator. Solar panels. Seems odd. Weird place to look for stuff like solar panels and wind generators. A lot of people don't think of Sam's Club. But they actually have a lot of alternative power stuff on here. Energizer inverters. These are actually pretty good inverters. The Aviva 182 watt hour portable power station. These aren't bad for, little things that you need to get done. They'll run your electronics, but they won't run anything that's heavy wattage. The other one that I wanted to look at, and I don't know if they offered on their site or their website, but yeah, there's the I think somebody mentioned the Generac whole house generator. There's one right there, and look at that, out of stock. But they make I think Noco who made it. I'll see if they offered on their website, but they're a little jump starter, and the Nocos are impressive. Yeah, they got this little bugger right here. These are guaranteed to hold a charge for 1 year in your glove box. And they do have enough juice to jumpstart most gas engines when they have a low battery. Diesels are a little tricky. They take a little bit more, but yeah. And for $79, I mean, that's a Noco. If you know anything about the Noco boost boxes, they're usually rather expensive, but they do work. They work well, and yeah. I've never had one fail. Trust me, I have one of these that sits in the diesel pickup all the time, and it's a larger one, but I've never had a problem with them jump starting anything in, minus 30-degree weather. So if you have a low battery out there in 40, 50-degree weather, they're going to have no problem at all getting you fired back up and on the road. And I like the idea that I charge it up and it actually doesn't have a parasitic draw. It can stay charged for over a year in your glove box. And they have little adapters where you can, charge your cell phone off them, stuff like that. Good thing to have around. There, we looked at the pork butt already. Talked about the pork butt already. Costco. Another strange place to look. But as far as butchering for your at home, if you want to get into more of the professional style equipment, this little MaxVac chamber vacuum, these are a different cat altogether. This is nothing like your Food Saver or any of those out there. These do it through atmospheric pressure. So what it does is this little dome is where all of the vacuum takes place. So it takes it to a zero pressure, and then it reintroduces atmospheric pressure, pushing all the air out or all the vacuum out. And where it differs is you could pour one of these bags down here chock full of a very liquidy soup, and it'll be able to vacuum pack it without making a huge mess. I know, $649 is expensive, but these things last much longer than a Food Saver. I think I'm on my 4th or 5th Food Saver right now at $100 a pop. So what's that? $500. I'm pretty damn close to buying an actually professional grade vacuum sealer. And yeah, your what you can store with these definitely increases compared to a regular Food Saver. Now, if you don't have the money to splurge on those, this Weston Pro, I know it looks really simplistic, and it is, but it's also pretty industrial. This is kind of a much more expensive option, a much more professional option to the Food Saver, but they work on the same premise. They just do a much better job. They got a larger vacuum pump in them. They'll draw a harder vacuum. Yeah. Weston is... It's kind of the... what's a good way to put this? It's kind of the ugly stepchild of the food preparation world. Vacuum bags are much cheaper if you do the store brand. So like the Kirkland's are $10 off compared to the actual Food Saver name. And they work just as well. They're just as thick. I haven't had any problems with them. So you might want to take a peek at those. This is actually the food saver I have right now, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. It is a hunk. We just bought it. Some of the problems that I've ran into this, and I was trying to see if some other photos would have loaded, but there we go. You look at the inside of this chamber. Okay, so the bags go here. You pull them down. The cutter is in the very front, way up here. So when you get done cutting the bag, the roll is actually in the way right here of the vacuum chamber. Then you got to stick your fingers in here, which I got, fat little sausage fingers. And you got to try to roll that bag back to get it out of the way. And then the way that the machine is sitting at this like 40-degree angle, when you put anything that has, any food that's close to this front bar here, it naturally wants to slide back away. Well, when it does that, it pulls it out of the ceiling little bar right here. So, I would not recommend this food saver if you guys come across it. Especially not for $150. If I'm going to do that, I'll buy this one for the $200. Let's see. Somebody mentioned TSC. Let's go over there and look. TSC. For those of you that don't know, TSC is Tractor Supply Company. And yes, they do have some oddball stuff on there. Smokey Randy says he does have that same food saver, and yes, it does suck. So, take a look at their gun safes and cabinets, see what they're offering here. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of gun safes. I've been to many a house fire back when I was volunteer fire department. Anybody that thinks that a gun safe is going to save their guns, sure, if you can get the fire out in 2 minutes, but at minute 30, that gun safe on the interior is so damn hot, your guns are toast anyway. Well, they got some nice pistol racks, it looks like. Haven't seen really a cabinet yet. A lot of gun safes. Not a cabinet. That's a little better. Okay, now we're going to compare what we were talking about. Let's see what the size on this thing is. Supposedly it's an 18 gun. That's... yeah. I've never been able to fit the number of guns that they claim you could fit in there. Mainly because most of my long guns are scoped. And anytime you have a scoped rifle, they really, really mess up how they stack into a gun safe or a gun cabinet. So this one is, let's see, 54 inches tall. Get down here to the spec. All right. Product weight is 87 inches. Product height or length is 18.5. What? The weight is 87 inches. Gotta love it. All right, let's see. Interior height 54.87 inches tall. Interior width is 20 inches wide. And depth is 18 inches. All right, so the cabinet we were looking at was almost the same price. I think it was, let's go back here. Looks like $219 for the cabinet I was talking about. Compared to $199. But get down here in the specs of this thing. We're looking at 36 inches wide compared to 18. So you're double width. 72 inches tall compared to 56, so you have more height for storage, and 18 inches deep, so same depth, much wider, much higher. For a little bit of work, you can turn this into a much more capable gun safe than what you can buy for $200. Just a regular example. I'm not dissing on Stack-On; they do a good job, but yeah. For any of you gun folks out there that are looking to store, well, I'll be showing you how to do this, how to get this one set up to where it's a inconspicuous gun safe out there. Well, so now, Smokey Randy, you have to look at what's their definition of a gun safe. Is it just a lockable? Because I think Grot and I were just having this discussion that Texas's definition of a gun safe is a lockable area. Well, that's... Tiana's asking me if I saw the new ruling in the ATF. I didn't. I mean, the ATF is changing rules constantly. What do we have now? You'll have to help me out. Is it the frame and receiver one? If it is under a certain weight, it has to be bolted to the floor. If it's over 300 pounds, it can be freestanding. Okay. Huh. Well, this inexpensive cabinet that I'm talking to you about, you just got to put, it'll hold up to 600 pounds. Put 300 pounds worth of steel in the bottom. All gun shops are going to have gun storage for sale in all stores. Oh, so they're going to mandate that gun shops have to have gun storage? Like for themselves or for sale? Is Grot still in the chat? Maybe he has heard about this. Seeing as how he's going to be opening his own firearm store here very soon. All kinds of storage. Okay. Huh. That's stupid. I guess I don't understand that. But yeah, so there's a few strange options. The other one that I've fallen in love with is Stanley, which actually maybe I should do that tonight. Well, at the end of the show we might do something special, so everybody better stick around. There might be we might do a giveaway or two at the end of the show. We'll see. Now that we have the phone line, we can actually do that. But, you know, I don't mind if I don't understand the defund the ATF, that's for fucking sure. All the ATF does is infringe on 99.9% of your rights as a individual. So, yeah. Maybe we'll do something silly tonight. I don't know. We'll see. The other thing you guys need to start doing is not throwing away so much. I catch myself doing this a lot. Caught myself doing it the other day. You know, we're talking about building a cabin down on some property that's available to us. And I was kind of doing the numbers crunching in my head. And I don't know. It was really, really expensive, first off, as far as building supplies. I mean, a frickin' stud costing almost $6 is a little ridiculous. And, give me just a second, I'm having to take care of something over here. It's interesting, I can't get rid of them. But, yeah, had that going, and then we were looking at setting up the kitchen. And, you know, kitchen cabinets and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, damn it, I have a sink. I know I have a sink already. We're good. And then I remembered that I held the sink off to scrap iron. Wasn't a damn thing wrong with it. Just didn't have any use for it at the time. Now I'm thinking, yeah, dipshit. You got maybe 7 cents for that sink. And, I'm going to spend $200 to put one in the cabin. Great. Makes sense. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, we gotta, I don't know, gotta stop being such a throwaway people. You know, we don't stop being consumers, I guess. Easy Money, they were saying that a new law went out by our new ordinance went out by the ATF that now any gun shops have to sell gun storage if they're selling firearms. So, I don't know. Dumber by the minute. Looks like Dixie Doodle made it over to YouTube finally. Well, that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what's coming down the pike. I just know it ain't good. I know it's going to get harder it's going to get harder with money. Having the money laying around to do the things that we need to get done. It's getting worse and worse. And it's not that we're making less money. It's just your money doesn't go as far as it used to. And I know, you know, people give me crap about these, but, you know, we were talking communication and these little cheap Baofeng radios. I get crap about them because they're from China and, you know, they're cheap. But even the price on these little buggers just keeps going up and up and up. And I don't know, I can't bring myself to understand why an American company can't do the same thing. I can make a fortune really fast on OnlyFans. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Higher taxes, higher prices, shortages of everything. I'm guessing, Mech, that's what you're saying is coming down the pike. And that's scary. But let's just do something quick. For the folks that are in here. Let's see here. Trying to see if I can find the dang thing here. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Hold on just a second here. Gotta get some stuff moved around. I'm sure you guys were around when we set this up, and it's been a while for those of you that have been on the channel for a while. And we're going to have a little fun here just for a second. I'm going to switch over to the desk shot here. There we go. Let's get this down a little bit so you can see what we're looking at. You guys remember when we put the fishing kits together? We kind of had some fun with this. Get this light down to where you guys can use it. Go. This little Altoids tin right here. For those of you that are new to my channel, you may not have seen when we put these together. But this is just a little fishing kit. Remember me talking about not throwing away? Altoids tins. Keep every one you come across. We're going to open this little bugger up. Show everybody what's inside, because we have a lot of new folks on the channel. And some folks that weren't around when we were putting these together. So the first thing you're going to notice, I got two little rubber bands that I keep on there, just mainly to keep the noise down on it. And then we got about, oh, I don't know, 1.5 foot of black tape or electrical tape. Yeah, maybe closer to 2 foot. And then inside of this little bugger, we have a latex balloon. You guys probably know what the heck that's there for. If you need to make a overnight set line, these do good to keep your bait off the bottom. We have well, slightly rusted. I don't know where the rust came from, because I've never used this knife. This is a True company. I don't know if you've ever heard of True, but they do a lot of the micro tools, stuff like that. Must have had some water get in here somehow. But just a little bitty knife. Also a money clip. Yeah. Nice and small. I've got a couple of bobbers in here. Or floats, depending on who you talk to. We got about, oh, I don't know, a little over 30 feet of, if I remember correctly, this is 30-pound braided line on a bobbin. And we got 2 of those, because you can never have enough cordage. 2 very small, ultralight, 16th ounce jig heads. No paint in them, so the paint's already knocked out. You don't have to mess with that. Little spinner on there for an attractant. Very small knockoff rattle trap. Little bitty bugger. One MEP spinner, or knockoff MEP spinner. 4 of the, I think, double-aught hooks, small hooks. 1 casting spoon. And, of course, rainbow trout color. And then in here, you guys have ever heard of fishing with marshmallows. We have, each tube, I believe, has 7 of the garlic scented marshmallows and the glitter. And we have 3 of the double-tailed twister bodies for the jig head. And I don't know, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 1/8 ounce sinkers that are in there. Quite a bit in this one little kit. I have taken these out. I built quite a few of these, but I have taken them out and fished with them. It's not as easy as you think it would be. Don't get that in your head that it's a for sure to catch fish with one of these. But it sure as hell makes your life a lot easier if you got one of these around. And since Foxhole has a little anniversary coming up, well, actually it's here. It's 1 year today. We're gonna do something a little different, something I haven't done before. We're going to... How many folks would be interested in having one of these? Is there any interest in something like this? Would you want something like this? Have around? What's your thoughts? Yeah. One nice thing about the black tape, it kind of weatherproofs the can a little bit. Let's check around here. Who do we got? You think Krusty would love one? All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. This little kit would be, I don't know, pretty easy to ship, don't you think? Only weighs a pound or two. Actually, not even. Probably less than a pound, I'm going to guess. So, I'm going to take a little playbook out of old Zoso dude. And we're going to have a little fun tonight. We're going to do, let's see here. Guess you'll have to win it for him. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get everything fired up. We'll switch back over to this screen. Make sure our internet service is good. Make sure everything's good before we start this. And let's do the caller number 10. What do you think? So we're going to get over to the call-in screen here. And we're going to do caller number 10. If you're caller number 10, you're going to win this little fishing kit that we put together. Not for you, Smokey, but Continental US, yes. I'll pay for the shipping on it. For you, I'll have to see what we can do. Okay. You're on with Montana Free. Who am I speaking with?
Here, speaking with Daily Insanity.
Well, Daily, you're number one, but keep trying.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right, so Daily, it was good to hear from you. I'm sure we'll catch up again. And if she's the only one that calls in, I'll just give it to her. So you guys better get to calling. The number is 406-284-5540. You're on with Montana Free. Who am I speaking with?
I guess I'm caller number 2 now.
I see how this is going to go. It's good to hear your voice, though, Daily. Maybe I should just have you on here talking until we get somebody else. All right, so now you're caller number 2. If you keep this up, you'll just call in 12 times and you'll win. How's that sound?
Okay, bye.
Anybody else going to call in, or should we just give it to Daily? What do you think? What do you think? Anybody? Nobody else wants the fishing kit? Max Druid says just to give it to Daily. What do you folks think? Any other calls? Look at that, Daily. I think you've won it. Give it to Daily. All right. Daily, you are friends with me in Discord. So send it over, or send me over your address, and I'll get this shipped out to you. Look at that. We don't even have to do 12 callers. Daily has such a fan base that she gets to win. But so is Daily, is Uncle Krusty awake yet, or is he still under the weather, or what's going on tonight? Because I was just doing a short show tonight, and then I was going to switch over. Bill Bar has your address. That reminds me, for anybody out there that hasn't yet, you need to get over and try Built Bar. I tell you what, if you're tired of eating protein bars that just taste nasty, those god-awful cardboard and shit, head over to Built Bar, check them out. It's more like eating a candy bar than a protein bar, but low carb, high protein, low sugar. And if you use Montana Free at checkout, you're going to save 10% on your order. Give them a try. I know it doesn't sound right, but somehow they've made it work. There's some sort of magic or voodoo. I don't know what they do to those, but the coconut almond, whoa. If you like a Mounds bar, you can't beat them. But that being said, I think since it is, since it is Foxhole's anniversary, I was going to head over there, do a Foxhole only show after this, and we were just going to sit back, play some music, have a grand old time. But here's what I want you guys to keep in mind. You need to start looking at your food out there. Food's going to be the first place they're going to hit you. Again, an army cannot march on an empty belly, so. Oh, that's a new one. Mech Druid says, most protein bars taste like circus floor sweepings. Well, that's a pretty accurate description, actually. And Daily, trust me, that lady right there has gotten a taste for Built Bars, and she'll tell you which ones are good and which ones are bad. I got the Apple Crisp bar, and I wasn't too impressed, but man, like the cookie dough, and I think they're the current one they have out is called a Crave bar, and it's caramel and peanut, and it's pretty damn good. But the cookie dough, though, I could fonder myself on cookie dough bars. But anyway, I think what we're going to do for you folks out there, we're going to go over and have a fun time. We're going to play some music and just have some fun over on Foxhole, celebrating their 1-year anniversary. If you would, and you have a Foxhole account, get your butt over there. That's the only place this show is going to continue. But like I said, damn it, you need to make sure, if you would, please, make sure that you got the food situation in order, because I think that's the first place they're going to whack us. And it'll be a lot easier for people to accept a government handout if they're starving, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. But anyway, let's say goodnight to the folks over on YouTube. We'll catch you later.